Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? It is 8:17 a.m. I just took my little selfies this morning. I was kind of bummed. I was like, my coffee cup matches this fence. I can never have like a full photo selfie with this as the background. I always have to put my phone on the fence and have this as the background. So, a little bummed about that. That's okay. That's okay. I guess, for now, right? Anyway, and Benjo's waiting on me today. He said, how many selfies are you gonna take? Anyway, good morning. Happy Saturday, everybody. How y'all doing? So I've been looking in the news and it's been, real heavy again. I don't think things are, I don't mean heavy in the sense that anything's new. Oh, my hair. But, just kind of like heavy in the sense that maybe it's the same old stuff. And, again, just kind of tired of it, right? So I was thinking yesterday, I guess, was alleged Black Nazi. Which, of course, my little Sunny from The View disclaimer is, he's denied that. That's what I read on the internet. I can't remember what website it was. Probably either The View's Twitter or maybe CNN. You want to see them in? I got a really good picture of them yesterday. Anyway, so, this is all just kind of stuff, it's just kind of like, and then I saw TYT going after Matt Gaetz. So, I think I remember reading a news article in the beginning of 2021 that Republicans have did not allow Matt Gaetz and MTG to speak at their establishment. So I crossed the street. You already know. I said Uber. So okay, TYT, you're trying to make alliances? Everybody, TYT, home of the progressives, because they got 3 billion views, which I have not seen them comment and advertise their business as such recently. But for a long time, several years minimum, TYT has advertised their businesses. Home of the Young Turks, home of the progressives. 3 billion views in journalism. So, you got, oh, it's Uber again. Benjo, what's up? You see me there? Gotta make sure I see them. But anyway, y'all see that? Okay. They gotta make sure I see that, and they gotta make sure y'all see that. Okay, let's move forward with the conversation we were just having. So, okay, you're gonna try to make alliances in September, mid to late September 2024 by saying alleged Matt Gaetz scandal. Are y'all surprised? I just said, so trying to make allegiances by kicking Matt Gaetz out. Is MAGA gonna, and talking down about MAGA. I said, oh, Tank, I'm sure you're real progressives, and everybody who identifies as progressive supports you still. Just kidding, but it was a joke. You get it, right? Okay. Anyway, so not to my surprise. I mean, obviously, right? I'm not surprised, but it's getting real pathetic loser. You know, it's just, why is it? Are you bored? What is with this? You've reached a threshold of humiliation standard, so you got to make the entire world talk about all these sex scandals. So, I mean, it's one thing if I do it, obviously. It's quite another with all this stuff going on, and then it's just alleged, and you know, stuff like that. They doing their thing, just like I'm walking on this NIC school bus route, but obviously a little different. So with that being said, with that 6-minute introduction, I just kind of wanted to say, you know, something that, if that's your threshold, if that's your standard, if that's what gets your goat, then you probably won't be able to participate in this conversation in a genuine way, obviously. But I thought, you know, it'd be good to talk about, you know, the joys of love and a soulmate and having a partner. And maybe, you know, just kind of throw that energy out there. So, you know, it's getting kind of down. So, I guess to start, I said, you know, I think probably ask a series of questions. I think maybe what are good romance questions? Maybe like a little quiz in a women's magazine or something. So here's some questions. You know, I'm just gonna think of is wedding destinations. Let's talk about it. What would be y'all's wedding destination? Whether you have a partner or not, considering you do have a partner, if you do, what would be your wedding destination? And how would you want it to go? As far as planning. Oh my god, I lost my bubble. 1 second. Okay. Maybe just all over the place this morning. So anyway, yeah, so what would be your wedding destination? Your ideal, whether you want cost to be a factor in that or not, because sometimes it's fun to not think about cost, and sometimes it's like, well, I'm going to be realistic about this, you know. So good, just throw that question out there. For me, if you're wondering, for me, honestly, like anywhere. You know, I think when you've found your soul, I believe in soulmates, but if you don't, if you found the right person, you know, you might be able to agree with me or maybe not. But I think when you have the right person, it's really just like, you know, anywhere. It's just like, you know, the best destination, you know, just as long as you're together, right? And obviously, you know, things you say, oh, this wasn't the destination we wanted, but we can go there again together, or we can go there together at another point in time. You know, you have something to look forward to, because when you're with the right person, you're optimistic about things, and you look forward to doing things and making plans and goals together, all that. So wedding destinations, I'll just say ideal wedding destinations, and for me, anywhere. Oh no, the bar truck's back. Anyway, back to our uplifting discussion today. Benju, what are you doing? No. So wedding destinations, and then mine's anywhere. But if I had to choose, you know, it's hard to choose. I like the water. So if you know, you say, Michelle, you gotta choose, or you're not getting lunch. Say, okay. If I had to choose, it probably somewhere next to a body of water. But you know, I like the desert, so you know, like I said, I wouldn't be upset, you know. Okay, so anyway, next question is, those are my answers. What are y'all answers? Anyway, so next question was relationship building. Getting to know your partner. Oh, 1 second. So I don't want them yelling at me today. Let's go, Benjamin. I think he wants to meet those puppy dogs that are always barking over there. Let's go, Benjo. Okay, so relationship building kind of question. What sort of, I'm gonna say date, activities that you do on a date to build a relationship and get to know your partner? Let's go, Benjo. You know, so yeah, that's part 1 of the question, and then I have a part 2 of the question, which is oh dang it, what is it? No, I already forgot. Okay, 1 second. Okay, I remembered. So what would you do to build a relationship and get to know your partner better in a fun level, in a fun way? Obviously, date. 1 second. So my next question was, would you and I'm not even going to put a circumstance on it, life circumstances, stages where you're at. I'm just going to go with how open are you to taking things slow? Especially with the right person, your soulmate and stuff like that. And what would be your ideal, if you're not in a relationship, and if you're not in a relationship right now, maybe it's just kind of fun to see what your answers would be further on down the line, later on in time. Because sometimes relationships do that. You have a certain set ways of being about things, and then you meet the right person, you get in a relationship, and then you're like, well, that mental standard wouldn't have worked out, and probably for the best, right? Anyway, so how slow and how fast would you take things is the second part of that relationship building question. Let's see, what else other questions are there? As far as relationship building, for me, my personal answer would be something about intimacy. It's always fun to like maybe go on an adventure, like an escape room or a road trip or something like that. But whatever it is, there would have to be an intimacy element to it. I think distinguishing your partner from a friendship level is extremely important. I mean, that's the whole point, right? And when you're in love like that. And sometimes, you know, it's like through movies and stuff like that. I don't know any specific examples, but you know, sometimes people can think that they belong in a relationship when they're really better off as just friends, right? So that's when I would say, you know, it could really be anything, you know, a painting class, you know, a day in the life of, a painting class or escape room, you know, movies, going to the zoo or an aquarium, a museum, you know, just, I guess, the regular, maybe a cup of coffee or something, but just something that adds an intimacy element as far as relationship building. It's the male, can you see? Y'all wish me luck. Hopefully he doesn't walk to my door today. Okay, now we can continue on with our conversation. It's 8:33 a.m. Very regular mail schedule. When Tracy was getting her checks delivered by mail, she doesn't anymore. There was not a very much regular mail schedule. Anyway, so obviously an intimacy element with that. Yeah. And then, so those two questions, and yeah, I guess like that's it. I guess those are my two questions. The second question had kind of two parts to it. So, anyway, so I hate to leave it on that note, but I'm getting kind of hot, and I just, you know, ready to greet the day right now. So I'm gonna go inside to the air condition. My mom and Tracy are probably up. They've already said that they've already requested to not be in my videos, but I can post them on Instagram. So anyway, I'm gonna go inside in the air condition. Let me just think real quick if there's another question I was thinking about. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee. 1 second. Okay, I just took a sip of coffee, and you know, I was gonna ask, you know, how much would you change for your partner, but you know, I'm not gonna ask that question. I just kind of thought of it because like of what I went through. I think I've changed a lot, but I've also stayed the same. I've changed for the better, but as far as being in generalities and stuff like that, I can't really think of a way to ask a question like that other than I guess the two questions I've already asked. Maybe that'll naturally lead into a conversation like that. As far as change and stuff, maybe change and maybe what you would give up, but I don't think I'm gonna ask that question. But as far as me personally, I don't think I've given up anything for my partner. I've stopped drinking since January 2021. It might have been February 1st. I don't know. I didn't keep track of it. I just know it was first month, maybe the first couple days in February. But I haven't drank since 2021, and that wasn't really for my partner, my soulmate. It was more for me. I know I've mentioned before, I've never been asked to stop drinking, especially in 2021 around, you know. So there's things that I've changed about myself that were never asked of me to do. And as far as the marijuana situation, you know, I've talked about that. And the drinking, obviously it goes to like going out to bars and stuff and socializing. The socializing aspect is obviously different, but these aren't things that I've changed about myself for my partner. these are all just things that just naturally happened, and not something I feel like I gave up. I gave up this habit because I chose my relationship over it. I don't think that doesn't really apply to me. And you know, if I'm asking those two questions, and if that kind of, I haven't really thought of a very optimistic, glass half full way to kind of approach that topic of discussion. So if it comes up in my two questions, the second question having two parts, then it does, and if it doesn't, it doesn't, which I would love to see y'all's answers. But yeah, so good morning, happy Saturday. Trying to be a little bit more light and positive with all this same old stuff going on. So yeah, feel free to participate or not if you don't want to. That's fine. I appreciate your time and all that. So y'all have a good one. Happy weekend.